Today I am going to prick out my basil. Look at that. Hasn't it grown well? It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to prick this out and pot it on. I have watered the seed tray ahead of time because they prick out much more easily if the compost is damp and the plants are fully hydrated. Now I'm going to use a 24 cell tray. I could use a 15 cell tray, but the cells are quite big. So the worry would be that with all that compost that the plants don't need, you could end up overwatering them accidentally. We usually use a 40 cell tray, don't we? But I think that these seedlings have done so well that they'll quickly grow out of the 40 cell tray. So that's why I'm going to go with the 24. Now, when selecting my seed trays, I like trays that have got about 3 holes in them, can you see? And one of them is risen, which means no matter where you put the seed tray down, the water can drain freely. However, if you decide to go for a seed tray like this, can you see it's only got 1 hole and it's sitting almost on the very bottom. So if you put this tray down on a flat surface, the drainage holes will be near enough blocked and then your plants could get waterlogged. You're thinking, oh blimey, I've just bought a job lot of these trays. What you can do is underneath your tray, put a good quality seed tray. This is just a cheap plastic one, but you can see it's got ridges in it, and those ridges will hold the cells up and the water can then drain freely out the bottom of the tray. This one here is a more expensive seed tray, but I tend to buy these ones because they last such a long time. I don't actually remember ever throwing one of these away. They're much longer lasting, a bit more expensive, but in the long run it's cheaper. And then when you put the cells on top of this tray, your plants will be sitting pretty, and if you look carefully you can actually see the drainage holes, the air gap in between the cells and the bottom tray. Be able to see better with this one. The bottom tray is a slightly different colour from the top tray, but you should now be able to see clearly the air gap. So I'm going to begin by selecting a section from the tray. Let's pop that to one side, and this one. Selecting a section from the tray with as much compost as I possibly can, and then I will prick them out from here, because that will mean it's much easier to tease them apart, keeping as much compost around each of their root balls as possible. There we go, look at that. They'll hardly even notice they've been moved. Also, the other thing, the scent is unbelievable. I wish we had smelly vision. I've decided to go with 1/2 of the tray in the red and 1/2 of the green. Don't know why. Just makes it more fun, I think, just to make your seed trays look all pretty. There we go. There we go, it's a big one, isn't it? There we go, gently filling that in. There we go, job done. So I'm just finishing off by watering the tray from underneath, because we don't want to dislodge our carefully placed seedlings, and the roots are actually at the bottom of the cells, so the water is getting directly where it needs to go. So the plants have had 20 minutes soaking from underneath now. That is plenty. You can see the compost is slightly damp, and I'm going to put them on the shelf now because that also helps improve the drainage, which is so important for plants like basil. There we go, they can keep the carnations company. These are the colour change stocks, and you can see this tray is a lovely light green. I separated them out at the seedling stage, so these are going to grow on and become double flowering pot stocks. And then the tray next door, can you see how much deeper the green is? So this deep green colour means that these are going to be single flowering pot stocks. In my opinion, they are just as nice, but I thought you might like to see the contrast so you can match up your own plants in your gardens and plant them appropriately. beautiful. Now, if you're a wee bit jealous about the stocks in the field, but you just don't have the space for whatever reason, then this is a little secret project I've been working on. These are Zoe's pot stocks. I'm going to turn my phone. Are you ready? You select them for doubleness. You can see I've got 100% doubles, but they're done in a different way, so I'll have to show you. But you buy the seeds. There's only 19 plants in here, so you'll be able to do many pots from one packet of my special seeds. So I thought it might be useful to show you this tray. These at the front here, they're the Applemint. This is the size they should be at this time with the conditions we've had this year. Don't worry, they will grow an awful lot and they'll start growing faster. Now they can photosynthesize, they've got enough leaf coverage. But they are a perennial, so there is no hurry. And then behind them is a Nicotiana lime green. It is absolutely enormous. So I shall have to pot those on into a 15-cell tray pretty soon now. It wasn't 5 minutes since I pricked them out. Smashing, and the leaves are beautiful and soft, like lamb's ears. As the weather is so changeable, I'm taking advantage of some indoor greenhouse time and I'm potting on my Strawflowers. So I've got to pot on the China asters, the Nicotiana and the Amaranthus, and then I think we might be done. I think that's all we've got to pot on, and then we just plant everything out and enjoy it for the rest of the summer. I might like a look from the other side, and then up here on the top shelf, basking in the best light, are the zinnias. They're already potted on into their 15-cell trays and looking absolutely fantastic. These are the Hollyhocks, and I did find they're a bit more light sensitive than some of the other plants. So I did find that they were leaning a little towards the window, so I've turned them around, so they're all facing me now. Looking absolutely terrific. I loved these first year flowering Hollyhocks so much at the end of last summer. Fresh flowers when everything else is starting to fade. They were so worth it. So I'm growing quite a few, as you can see. There we go, the vast majority of the flowers for me are coming out as doubles, but we do have the odd single. I think it's lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Up here we've got some Strawflowers that I potted on about 10 days ago, and you can see how much they've grown, how quickly they grow when they get that extra bit of space. There we go, and a big step back so you can see what I can see. So here's a quick update on the Phlox that we started in very early spring. They're looking absolutely fantastic. Got plenty of space in their 15-cell trays, so you can leave them here basically until they start flowering, which makes it a quite fun way to plant out, because you can decorate your garden with the colours. Wow, they look nice together, don't they?